Page speed is one of the most overlooked parts of monitoring because a site doesn't need to go fully offline to become a problem. If it becomes slow, unreliable, or starts loading heavy assets, users notice straight away. So in this video, I'm going to walk through how to set up a page speed monitoring test in StatusCake, what the results mean, and how to use the waterfall view to find exactly what's slowing your site down. Let's get started. First, from the left-hand menu, we want to go to Page Speed, and then click Page Speed Tests. If you don't have any tests yet, you'll see a screen like this, where you can create your first one. To begin, just click New Page Speed Test. This brings us to the test creation screen. The first thing we need is a test name. This is just a short label so you can recognize the test later, especially if you're monitoring multiple pages. Next, we enter the URL. This can be your home page, a landing page, or any customer-facing endpoint where performance matters. Below that, we have the check rate. Page speed checks are heavier than uptime checks, so most teams don't need to run these every minute. A sensible default is something like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or even once a day, depending on how closely you want to track performance. Next, we select monitoring regions. Next, we have a monitoring region. This lets you measure the speed from the same location your users are in, which makes the results much more realistic. And finally, you can assign a contact group. So alerts go to the correct team if your performance drops outside your thresholds. Now, if we scroll down into alert settings, you can optionally configure thresholds, for example, minimum page size, maximum page size, and maximum load time. So if a page suddenly becomes much heavier, or load time spikes, StatusCake can alert you immediately. A good use case here is catching unexpected asset bloat or third-party scripts slowing things down. If you're new to this and you don't know what figures to put in, that's fine, leave these blank for now. Later on, once our test has run, you'll be able to see the averages for all three of these across your different tests. Next, we have advanced settings. These give you more control over how the page is tested. For example, blocking trackers, sending do not track, applying throttling, or choosing viewport size. You can also set a custom user agent, basic authentication for protected pages, and custom headers if needed. Most users can leave these as defaults, but they're very useful for more complex setups. We will be going through these in later videos if you want to check those out as well. Once everything looks correct, just click Create Test. StatusCake will now run the first scan automatically. After a few seconds, you'll see the test appear on your list. At first, it may take a moment for the first performance run to complete. Once it has, you can click directly on your test for the full breakdown. This is the main page speed results screen. At the top, you'll see a summary including load time, file size, and the total requests. These give you a quick overview of how heavy the page is and whether performance has changed over time. Below that, you'll see charts showing load time history and average results. And on the right, you'll also see technical details like which test server ran the scan, browser version, and the IP4 address. This helps if you ever need to reproduce results from a specific region. One of the most useful sections here is the content type breakdown. This shows what your page is made up of. For example, JavaScript, CSS, images, fonts, and other resources. So if a page becomes slow, this often shows you immediately whether it's due to scripts, images, or third-party assets. Now, the most powerful part of page speed monitoring is the waterfall view. So here we'll click Show Waterfall. This opens a full request-by-request breakdown of everything that loads on the page. Each line in the waterfall is a resource the page had to load. This could be scripts, style sheets, images, fonts, or external services. The coloured timing bar shows exactly where the time is being spent. So instead of guessing what's slowing your site down, you can see it instantly. Now, if we click on one of these items, we can expand it in full detail. This shows the request URL, response timing, status codes, server IP addresses, and whether the request succeeded or failed. This is extremely useful for catching things like slow third-party scripts, failed assets, unexpected 403s, or services delaying page load. And that's it. Page speed monitoring gives you visibility into performance issues before they become customer-facing problems. Instead of just knowing whether your site is up or down, you can track how fast it loads, what assets are slowing it down, and exactly where time is being spent through the waterfall view.